The Knights Roundtable is presented by Orlando Health, the official medical team of the UCF Knights. Choose Orlando Health for excellence in healthcare with award-winning hospitals, clinics, and nearly 3,000 community physicians throughout Central Florida.
Well, Coach, anytime you go on the road with a crowd, without a crowd, it's tough to get road wins. You have to be happy your football team with everything of going on the road to playing and getting a victory.
Absolutely. Unique in that we're starting the season out with 2 straight road wins. I thought our kids handled the uniqueness of the environment extremely well. We talked a lot about it in week 1, talked a ton about it in week 2, that nobody in the stands this week. We maybe had 100 people there, right? Creating energy, sustaining energy, playing for one another. I thought our kids played with energy and passion for 4 quarters. Didn't play perfect, doesn't have to be, but really proud of what our guys did going on the road.
Not ideal. The second straight week, they take the ball down the field and score, but then your team responded, a unique start to that drive, but answered, and then the defense getting the 3 straight turnovers. I know you didn't get as many points out of that, but it kind of helped you figure things out before the offense and took off. Take me through that first quarter plus.
Yeah, we'd rather not start by giving up a touchdown. We did answer back. Uniqueness in the drive that you start with 4 straight penalties, find a way to overcome it. We have to eliminate the pre-snap penalties and the post-whistle penalties before we get to Saturday. We got to correct that. I thought defensively did a great job of creating turnovers. Offensively, we have to find a way to score more points off of those turnovers. I did think it allowed us offensively to kind of catch our footing a little bit. They were a little bit different than what we had seen on tape. Kids adjusted, coaches adjusted, found a way to get it going there in the second quarter.
Last 2 drives of the first half, first 2 drives of the second half, 4 touchdowns. What did you do really well in those drives?
I played ahead of the chains, didn't have a lot of penalties. We're in manageable situations when we did get into 3rd down. I thought we had good balance in the run and pass. We found the right schemes to attack them. Guys in space made plays. Dylan was decisive and accurate with the football. You do those things, 11 guys operating as one, and you chew up yards, and you're able to go score points.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
The players that you anticipate making big plays among your pass catchers, Marlon, obviously a J Flash, but it was an opportunity for Jacob Harris with Trey out to step in even more. And then your young players, Ryan O'Keefe, we got Stretch out there, certainly helping as that offense showing its step with your pass catches.
Yeah, absolutely. You've seen us probably playing more 4 wide receiver sets here early in the year than maybe we have the first couple of years. I think that speaks to the depth and confidence that we have at the wide receiver position. A little bit more rotation than usual as well since Trey's gone down. A lot of confidence in those guys. Dylan has confidence. You see he's willing to target any of those guys at any time. Like what that group is doing and how they've continued to grow. Want them to take another step this week.
Their quarterback, you knew, athletic, could do a lot of things. After that first drive, what adjustments did the defensive side make to kind of keep him in check and not allow him to make a lot of big plays?
Yeah, I think, one, we played really tight coverage all day long on the perimeter and made him squeeze the football. That allows your defensive line to continue to push the pocket. As the game went on, I thought we did a better job of keeping him keeping our integrity in our rush lanes, keeping him inside of the pocket, not allowing him to escape, make a play with his feet, or on scramble drill. I thought our front 4 was relentless all day long. You saw a lot of guys rotate. I thought we were a physical football team on the defensive side of the ball.
Let's talk about your defense. 9 turnovers in the first 2 football games. You're +7 in that category. As we talked last week, you do things to create turnovers. Again, some of the hits and being in position stood out in the ECU football game.
Yeah, I think overall it's an aggressive mentality and approach to how you want to play the game. Be relentless, play with energy, and be extremely physical. That wears on your opponent. It allows you to take control of the second half. Our guys have done that defensively the first couple of weeks of the season. That comes because we're able to rotate our front. We got depth at linebacker, and we're fast, aggressive, and long out on the perimeter as well. You put those combinations together, you got a chance to do some of the things that we're doing. I think Coach Shannon and his staff do a tremendous job of placing a point of emphasis on creating negative plays and creating turnovers. I think that changes the way the game's played. Offensively, we've tried to do the same thing as far as taking care of the football. And turnover battle is the number one thing in just predicting the football game, who's going to win, who's not. We've been on the right side of it. You look at conference champions inside of this conference, they're usually at a 2-to-1 margin as far as getting turnovers versus those that are lost. We got to continue to live on the right side of that.
Their receiving core may be one of the more experienced in our conference, and we played so many young, true freshman corners. Great experience for them, but overall, you take a look, no receiver really had a big day among that returning group. How good were your young corners being tested in a football game?
They've been really good. They've played with poise. They've played the next play independent of what's gone on the previous play. They're playing with great technique. They're understanding our calls, our checks, coverage versus different route combinations. They're playing like veterans, and that's why they're on the football field, because we have great trust in those guys. This week will be a big test. This is a good football team in all three phases of the game. They're big and strong up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They have playmakers at the wide receiver position, like you alluded to, a veteran quarterback. We got to play our best brand of football this Saturday.
You got a chance. You were up 41-7 in the football game. There's still a lot of time left, but a lot of guys got a chance to play a lot of plays. We talked about freshmen and secondary, but you had linebackers, offensive linemen. The value of every play. We saw, Johnny Richardson in the touchdown run. Those are valuable plays, for your football team going out there.
Yeah, you want to continue to grow your depth. Some of that comes by experiences on the field. This was a football game we were able to get them out there and let them play some football late in the third and fourth quarter. I thought they handled it well. We'll be better off for it. This year, more than any other year, that depth is critical when you're dealing with COVID as well, because you can lose someone to a non-football injury and close contacts. All of a sudden, you're losing a handful at a time, potentially. The depth is critical. You've seen a lot of those young guys play on special teams. They're continuing to get better there as well. We got to continue to develop that depth as we go through the season.
It's not the same bounce house without a full house bouncing, but the crowd will have there is going to be important. It's good to be back home. You go through the process 2 weeks on the road. So while it's not the same, it'll be nice to come back home for a football game. I know you and I know the players will be excited to be back home.
Yeah, we got so many kids that are from this area, right? Family and friends are able to come to the ball game. I think that's huge for them, just to have that experience. Our fan base being able to be in there, create an atmosphere and an energy that we're accustomed to will be huge this Saturday too. It will not be the exact same, but our players and our staff are really excited about being able to be at home and have a chance to go 1-0 inside the bounce house.
Is there something you've learned after 2 games about your football team you didn't know, whether it's something specific football-wise, leadership, or anything that stands out after these 2 road games?
I think there's some resiliency in them handling negative situations. Not a great start to a football game. The ebbs and flows. They've been really consistent in who they are by player, right, individually, but also collectively as different units playing together as one team. And I think that's critical for us as we continue to move forward during the course of the season. Adversity is going to strike. How do you handle that adversity when it comes? That's critical to your success in that moment.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
The Knights Roundtable is presented by Orlando Health, the official medical team of the UCF Knights. Choose Orlando Health for excellence in healthcare with award-winning hospitals, clinics, and nearly 3,000 community physicians throughout Central Florida.
So the Knights are home for their first game of the bounce house. They take on Tulsa. Kickoff is set for 7:30. For all of our game day protocol information, be sure to log on to UCFKnights.com and check out everything you need to know if you're coming to the stadium on Saturday. Follow the latest on UCF News by going to UCFKnights.com and keep up with everything happening on our social media platforms. For Coach Josh Heupel, I'm Marc Daniels. We'll see you next week. Go Knights, charge on.